PSP World Cup. Man, this is going to be a crazy day. This is when we're going to find out who is going to make it into the semifinals in the Champs and Challengers division, who's going to be playing in those crazy relegation games. I'm Matty Marshall, Todd Martinez, and Chris Lasoy here. Most important tournament of the year. The game coming at you first. It's a big one. Houston Heat is taking on San Antonio XFactor. Boys, what do you think about this matchup?
I think this is going to be a really tough matchup because both of these teams are 1-1. We saw XFactor come out and just stomp Russian Legion into the ground yesterday and then come out and have a really tough match against the Ironmen. And then Houston Heat, they came out, they lost their game against Art Chaos to start, and then they came out and really put it on Russian Legion. So both these teams 1-1. If either of them have any hopes of making it onto Sunday, then they're going to have to get a win here first game this morning.
And Chris, that's what's so crazy about Saturday. I mean, look, this is the Pro League, so every point's important because of the point spread. Every game's important. Obviously, you only get 4 in the prelims, but we start to find out right away who, you don't want to go 1-2 because then the best you could do is 2-2, and then you're still rolling the dice depending on how the rest of the division finishes out.
Well, they're both really close. I mean, 1-1. Houston Heat is +1 right now in terms of plus minus point spread, and XFactor is +2. So they're so close. This game means so much to both these teams right now. So let's see what happens on the breakout.
So off the breakout here, it looks like getting into the snake. Both teams into snake 1 right now. Referee checking out Thomas Taylor, who gets the start for Houston Heat. Thomas ended up really picking it up towards the latter part of his competition. Kind of got a slow start, but man, he really started to pick it up. So also looks like in the snakes, San Antonio XFactor.
Yeah, who's balling for Heat yesterday? Ronnie Dizon. 2 bodies walk off the Dorito side for San Antonio XFactor. Ronnie Dizon straight to the 50 Dorito right away. Archie Monomator immediately goes back to defense and gets shot in the back of the head from the snake side.
And on your screen there now on the D side, look at those Heat players moving down to the D side. There's the 50-yard line, and they're going to try to pass that 50. Now we're looking at the snake. You can see those long shadows here in the morning here at the Fantasy of Flight, and looks like Thomas Taylor got shot out of his bunker.
So Thomas Taylor gets shot just as Woodley goes to make his move. Woodley has to bail into the highway side of the snake.
That's the first time I've seen that all weekend. He was like, uh-oh, dives down, hides in the inside highway part of the snake. But taking the point right there, Thomas Taylor, I like to see him get some spins.
A nice job by Houston Heat to put this first point on the board, looking real strong, and particularly on that D side of the field. Yesterday we saw that if you don't have a snake presence, you are not going to win games here on this layout. But also that D side really starting to fly because so much pressure, so many guns that go, and so much attention goes to the snake side of the field that really opens things up on that D side of the field. So Houston Heat, the 1-0 score against San Antonio XFactor. So we'll see who these guys send out.
Yeah, that man on your screen right there, Ronnie Dizon, we've seen him fly. He didn't really get into the game until a little bit later in the day yesterday, but once he did, he took full advantage of it. We saw him shooting bodies, racing down, getting up into that 50 Dorito as soon as possible. Real big help over there for Houston Heat on the Dorito side. Ronnie Dizon playing really well. Got Greg Sievers over there with him, next to him. He's always a strong player to have on your team. Come out and do work for you, but we got Thomas Taylor over here for Houston Heat as well, getting in that snake, being alive. John Woodley getting kills out of that snake side corner. Put Houston Heat up 1-0 over XFactor.
Well, it's going to be very scary for other teams if Houston Heat gets their whole roster firing. So it's really good for them that Ronnie Dizon and Thomas Taylor are playing well, because we've seen Ryan Moorhead play some amazing points, particularly in Chicago when they took 2nd place here, snake side. So, very deep team. But San Antonio XFactor is also a very deep squad, but needs to put another one, or puts 1 on the board here. Try to even this one up. 18 minutes and 59 seconds remain here. Lots of time left in the 20-minute regulation time period here.
Yeah, we saw XFactor play some flawless paintball yesterday in their first game. See if they can get it going again over here on the snake side like they were yesterday.
Split screen breakout. XFactor on your right.
Archie Monomator has
on the left. Oh, on the break. But look at Colt Roberts getting up in the center. On your screen, you can see left-hand side. Also losing a body on the break.
And then heading into the snake here, Chad George for Houston Heat. But, that call, Chris, you're saying that Colt Roberts goes up to that center. He's doing that, just put his gun towards that D side, try to slow that Dorito side down.
Yeah, and it looks like he's shot. I think Chad Bouchier going out to the corner. There goes
Chad George gets shot, making the turn into snake 3. That's going to allow XFactor to get up in the snake now. They got Ninos in the corner. Grayson Goff comes across, and he gets into the snake one now and starts shooting across the field.
That's one thing about XFactor. All these players are so versatile. You can go to the corner, you can go to the snake, you can go to the center. You see normally Colt Roberts going to the Dorito side of the field. Grayson Goff is usually a center player. But, I mean, they're so versatile that they can pretty much go anywhere.
Yeah, Grayson Goff started off in the back center when they lost Archie. He filtered out over here to the snake. They had Ninos, you know, who's got a little bit of speed on him, break it out to that corner. And now he's getting in there working with Grayson Goff to get him down the field as Colt Roberts is just hammering on Greg Seavers in that Dorito side corner from the A. And he's got Scott Kemp alive with him over there in the Dorito too, trying to put pain across the field on Woodley, who is in the snake side corner. Grayson Goff going to cross the 50 and come into Houston Heat side of the field, try and get an angle on Greg Seavers over there in the Dorito side corner.
Yeah, so Heat has the 2 stand-up temples, back bunkers on both sides of the field. Grayson Goff in real good field position. Colt Roberts still in that 50. So XFactor in the driver's seat right now. Grayson Goff just trying to edge out, but Heat not giving him anything right now. They understand the situation, and the tough thing, though, is to maintain that line of communication back and forth between your back players or your 2 players left alive here. You can see from the eye in the sky view, there's Grayson Goff in the snake, right hand, bottom right hand by the Pro Edge Paintball logo. And then now past the 50-yard line, Colt Roberts hunting in the center. You can't see him right now, but he's right behind that bunker. There he is. He's trying to get a shot. Back bunker on the snake side. I think he got him.
Nice shot by Colt Roberts in the corner on John Woodley. Oh, and Chad Boucher trying to make a move on the far side of the field. You saw.
Gets shot to
blown to pieces.
Bits, yeah.
Hey, but you know what else are you gonna do?
No, well, you know, hey man, you got a guy running down the field. You got to put as many paintballs on him until he stops running. So desperation move by Chad Boucher, not able to get it done. 4 players left alive for San Antonio XFactor. What a great point for Colt Roberts. Colt Roberts 3 confirmed kills, just dominating that D side over there from the center. Scotty Kemp getting in there with a kill as well too. So nice job by Ninos, Scott Kemp, Colt Roberts, and Grayson Goff. Good versatile play by Goff to come over here into the snake.
Yeah, I was just talking about that. I mean, you don't normally see him over here. He's a very versatile player. All those players in XFactor actually are. You know, Colt Roberts normally going to the Dorito side of the field, but mixing it up a little bit and going to work in the center just shows the versatility of the XFactor team.
Yeah, good call right there to kind of switch it up. You know, try and catch Heat by surprise. Second point here in the morning.
So let's check out this game matchup. You know, Houston Heat, San Antonio XFactor. San Antonio XFactor was down in the Challengers division for the last event. They did very well there, but Houston Heat able to beat Dynasty to maintain their spot in a relegation game. So, and also Houston Heat has taken a 2nd place this year in Chicago. XFactor struggling. The best they did was 3rd, which is pretty good, but considering that they are the defending world champs, they wanted to come in and start winning some tournaments. And you know, with their core roster been together for so long, such an amazing event for them. They're come from behind win in the finals against Impact at the World Cup a year ago. So definitely, if they can play the way that they did in their first game against Moscow Red Legion for the rest of today, then they will be a favorite again here.
There we have Derek Jordan and Scott Kemp on your screen for San Antonio XFactor. Going to be heading out to that Dorito side. Looks like you got Billy Bernaccia, Archie Montemayor.
Hey, Todd, they're getting Jordan some spins.
Yeah, I mean, went down to San Antonio. Jordan was playing really, really well. You know, if a guy's getting out there and he's producing for you, you got to get him on the field when it comes tournament time.
So right now, tie ball game here, 16-13 on the clock. Heat versus XFactor. Looking at Houston Heat, the back line in the center. Looks like 1 body dropping for both teams.
2 bodies dropped for Houston Heat as they lose Monville and Boucher off of that Dorito side. So there goes Houston Heat's whole Dorito side, but XFactor losing 1 body off the snake side.
Dixon Yang taking the walk. And here comes Ryan Moorhead past the 50-yard line. But moves made on the D side from San Antonio XFactor.
Oh, nice shot.
And does Moorhead trade out with Bernaccia? And he does.
He did.
So just 1 body left alive on the snake side. It's Montemayor for XFactor, but running down the Dorito side right now is Derek Jordan. Derek Jordan putting the pressure on the last body. It's Tim Montresor in the snake side corner, and they are going to close it out.
Jordan going to work, Matty.
Yeah, well, we were just saying, you know, Jordan's been getting some spins, so he must have been showing the team. XFactor doesn't suffer any fools. That's a hardcore lineup.
Absolutely.
Those guys have been together for a long time. You know, I mean, I'll go all the way back to 2007, which was the last time that that XFactor was pretty dominant until this version of the team. But it's the same team. I mean, they've had the same core group of guys their entire run, which is a pretty amazing thing to say. So for a guy like Jordan to come in and start getting reps and do well with the team that's been around that long, and you know, they're not just going to let anyone just come in. And they've tried to find younger guys to come in, and they've had a couple guys the past couple years come in and out. But you know, maybe Jordan will be a permanent addition.
Well, like you said, Manny, I mean, you've said it before. What did Bill Bernacchi, who's a seasoned professional, what did he have to go to in order to make that team?
He had to go to an actual tryout.
Exactly.
Same with Scott Kemp.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I mean, they actually. So even though those guys had played on big teams, and Scott Kemp was a world champ, and he, I mean, and it was a a little bit of a kind of a. It wasn't like a. I mean, but he had to go to a legit tryout. I mean, it wasn't like they didn't know who he was. They're all buddies with him. Right. So, you know, they were looking favorably at him anyway, but he still had to show up and prove himself, because that's the type of crew that XFactor is. In fact, you know, Planet Eclipse, one of the big supporters of PBA, have done, the roster right now currently is on Chicago Aftershock, but last year, if you go back and watch the season 3, I believe it is, you know, check out that story from San Antonio XFactor's championship year, but they have that big tryout in the beginning of the year.
Well, Alex Martinez, you always say paintball patriot.
Love that guy.
So do I. The guy's amazing. He's one of those people that supports paintball to its fullest, and he's just one heck of a nice guy.
So right now, 2 unanswered points, Todd, for San Antonio XFactor, looking pretty sharp here after that first one for Heat.
Yeah, San Antonio XFactor come back, 2 straight points, sending out Michael Kovar, Demetrius Ninos, Archie Montemayor, Colton Roberts, and Grayson Goff. Coming on the field for Houston Heat, John Woodley, Ryan Moorhead, Thomas Taylor, Chad Boucher, and Greg Sewers.
Split screen breakout. Heat on your right, XFactor on your left, diving out, both teams spreading the field wide. Getting into the snake is Thomas Taylor, past snake 1 and into snake 2. There's XFactor on your screen, they get in the snake, but Thomas Taylor gets taken out as he was trying to get from snake 1 to snake 2. So now the only team with a player in the snake is San Antonio XFactor, as they get Meter Ninos in there, and he's gonna scurry all the way past the 50-yard line, no one in front of him. John Woodley is in that back bunker, though, on that side of the field. Oh, now they got Ryan Moorhead in the snake. So look at the snake battle unfolding right now. And here comes Ryan Moorhead. Ooh, that was a close one.
Actually, you know, he definitely had the drop on him.
Oh, but John Woodley able to get that body back, shoots Ninos out of their side of the snake.
Oh, but I don't. Archie just filtered out towards the D side, and so now there's only one body on the snake side. It's in the back bunker, but that's the same lineup for Heat right now. So, you know, snake side really open right now. One player from both teams.
Yeah, I think there's only 2 bodies left alive for Houston Heat as Grayson Goff goes diving into the 50 Dorito. Greg Sewers is in the Dorito too, right next to him, but Archie Montemayor watching over him. That's going to allow Michael Kovar to come into the snake, and he's going to crawl to the snake 50. Woodley tries to come out wide to shoot him down the snake side. Kovar going to back up, try and put the pressure on Greg Sewers. Sewers going to trade out with Goff over there on the Dorito side. 2-on-1 situation right now. Archie Montemayor into the 50 Dorito, and John Woodley going to get shot, I believe, by Kovar.
Yeah,
that's going to do it for Houston Heat for that point.
Yeah, I think that was Kovar. So solid work by Grayson Goff and Michael Kovar. Michael Kovar getting himself a 3-pack. So with 13:38 to go here in this XFactor Heat matchup, really crucial game for both of these teams, sitting at 1-1 right now. But man, San Antonio, after that first one for Heat, XFactor really picked it up.
Yeah, this is what XFactor was doing yesterday, getting more bodies out alive on the snake side, getting into the snake, putting the pressure on, and, you know, just being consistent, getting out to that corner, keeping the pressure down the wire, keeping Heat from coming down the snake side. Thomas Taylor actually got in there but got shot as he tried to make the turn around from snake 1 to snake 2 right in the pack. But, you know, XFactor right now just winning the overall battles, getting down that Dorito side, getting up the middle, winning on both sides right now, those past 3 points, doing a good job of mixing it up. But Houston Heat, you know, a lot of vets on that team. Going to make some adjustments, going to get some, get Ronnie Dizon back in the game, get Chad George back out here. try and get something going on both sides of the field. Houston Heat definitely still shooting bodies off that Dorito side, but past couple points, losing bodies off that Snake side early, kind of hurting them. So, you know, stick to your strengths, get people out there alive, allow the Dorito side to put the pressure on XFactor. XFactor, like I said, they're hitting on all sides right now. Just got to stay consistent, continue to play smart, and communicate. XFactor playing a lot like they played yesterday in that Moscow Red Legion game, getting kills early, getting up the field, and getting good support.
So right now, and no penalties. Been a clean game thus far, which means we're probably going to see a penalty on this next point.
Well, I mean, commentator curse, you know, as we always say, but Houston Heat needs to make something happen right now. They're down 2 points against a great team. XFactor just coming hard, man. They look really crisp and clean right now. Well,
I'll tell you what, XFactor has completely stolen this momentum. So this is a huge point for them. They do not want to go down 4-1 against XFactor, the way that XFactor's played these last 3 points. So we'll see on the field right now for XFactor, Bernaccia, Scotty Kemp, Derek Jordan again. They're getting him some spins. Michael Kovar and Archie Montemayor. For Heat, it's John Woodley, Ronnie Dizon, Greg Sewers, Ryan Moorhead, and Chad George.
Here we go, Todd. Split screen breakout. Heat in your right, XFactor in your left.
So good breakout for Houston Heat. They get 5 a lot. Oh no, they lose Chad George. And Woodley's gonna, oh, they also lose Ryan Moorhead out of his bunker. So Ryan Moorhead losing a gunfight. Looks like San Antonio XFactor's gonna have the advantage again. 5 players alive for them. Great position in the snake. Billy Bernaccia past the 50-yard line. And
here comes Derek Jordan on the rundown. He is not going to be able to get Sewers out of that corner. So just Woodley and Sewers again, split for Houston Heat. See if they're going to be able to battle back at all as XFactor goes diving into the 50 Dorito. Billy Bernaccia already passed the 50-yard line on the snake. He's going to come around another knuckle to try and get a shot in on Sewers. He's posted up on Woodley down the line. He's got help behind him and Kovar there in the corner. Billy Bernaccia getting a check on the inside. He's clean in the snake. Archie Montemayor field all the way across the field into the Dorito 1.
And we saw this situation in an earlier point with 2 players left alive for Heat in those back corner bunkers on both sides of the field. And you can see on that D side, there comes the push from XFactor at that 50-yard line at D3. They also have D1, so 2 players on that side, 2 players on the snake side. And now Kovar has come to back Billy Bernaccia up, and they're going to take out Sewers. And so it was just Woodley actually already got shot. So Woodley got shot first, and then Sewers was the last player left alive. He gets taken out, and it has been all San Antonio XFactor for the past 4 points, looking real solid right now.
Well, hey, Todd, so how hard is it to cross up in this field? You have the 2 back bunkers, 2 corners, crossing up. There's a lot of moves to be made up the middle, down the snake. It's kind of hard to cross up and kind of stay alive, yeah?
Yeah, well, especially with a snake like this, you know, that's 60, 70 feet long. You know, you can just go so far onto the opposing team's side of the field that it's really hard to cross it up because those guys over there on the Dorito side, you know, can get pinched. You get almost even with those guys. You're about 10, 20 feet from being even with those guys, put paint right back on them. So, you know, we haven't seen a whole lot of teams successfully cross it up and chew up bodies coming in trying to close out games. Once you get that advantage, getting the snake, you know, get all the way down and just put the pressure on, especially if you've got support behind you. You know, it makes it really tough to cross up. But, I mean, Houston Heat just losing those first bodies early right now is definitely what's kind of put them in a hole in these points.
Todd, I'll tell you what, man, if you have Derek Jordan on your fantasy team, you're a happy man because he was another player.
200 bucks.
Yeah, is very economical. And not really, you know, with those younger guys, the reason why they're so inexpensive, you don't know if they're going to get spins. But they're getting Derek his spins, and he's doing pretty well. And we're looking at the pits right now for XFactor. So you guys are playing for a DM15.
Those things are sick.
Yeah, so that's a good prize to try to win.
I saw one yesterday. Those things are pretty badass.
Yeah. So this game brought to you by Pro Edge Paintball. John Jackson from VCK runs an awesome shop down in Houston. You can also check out their website, and a big supporter of the game. And VCK, I believe they went 1-1 yesterday in the Challengers Division. So they had a great year regardless. We saw them in the Champions Division, the last event. but got knocked down, so have to fight their way back. And Dynasty, talk about the Challengers Division, we'll be bringing you those scores as the day progresses, but Dynasty went 2-0 yesterday, and they mopped up Union and CEP 7-0 to 7-1.
Well, I mean, they're on a mission right now. You know, them and Infamous, you know, not playing for the Champions Division. I'm not taking anything away from the Challengers Division because they're all professional paintball players. However, for the first time in history, I think Dynasty is not playing for the cup, which is unheard of sometimes. But at the same time, it just shows the level of play that we have here at the PSP.
Well, you know how it works now with the champs in the Challengers Division. Is that, look, man, you have to win out. You have to earn your right to play. So if you have a bad tournament and you lose those games, well, you're going down. It's happened to a lot of good teams, but they fought their way in. A lot of times it ended up being a good thing for them because then it caused them to fix some deficiencies in their squad. Well, let's check in with the fourth member of our broadcast team, Lauren Kelly, down to the pits.
Hey guys, I'm here with Grayson Goff in XFactor's pit. Now I wanted to talk to you a little bit about that point where you were here on the Dorito side in the 50 Dorito and Greg Sewers was right in front of you. Did you know that he was there initially when you ran up?
Yeah, I knew he was there. Me and Archie were calling it. Archie came across. He moved from Dorito 1 to Dorito 2. And so I just got in there. I shot low on the bunker, gave him a little Kansas City shuffle, and just came out high.
Yeah, you guys obviously traded. Yeah. When that happens, what's the best situation then for Archie, or when the D1 person is shot out, what's the best next move to make sure you can take that? I mean,
that's the situation we were looking for. We were 2-on-1. I shot him. We traded out. Archie has that whole side. Now he just needs to be careful working his way down the Dorito side because they don't have a guy body over here.
All right. Well, XFactor has an early lead, 4-1 against Heat. We'll see if they can keep it up.
See in the next line that XFactor sending out here to see if they can continue this run that they're on. Archie Montemayor, 4 confirmed kills for him. Billy Bernacci has got 4. 12 minutes and 10 seconds to go, so lots of time should Heat want to mount a comeback here. Let's see if they changed up their strategy on the timeout.
And there goes Colt Roberts up to the Dorito side of the A. Gets in there, gets one off the Dorito side. Chad George and Thomas Taylor both walking off the field early for Houston Heat. And that's going to allow Billy Bernaccia to go really far down the snake.
Not looking good again for Houston Heat. 5 players still alive for San Antonio XFactor. Yeah, Bernaccia being bird dogged by the referee as he follows him in. But only 2 players left alive again and it's Woodley and Chad Boucher. And now Archie Montemayor might have got that shot on the corner.
Nice shot.
And then just stabs John Woodley, who's nothing what Woodley could do at that point. Was looking at a 5-on-1 situation, so was just waiting to wear some welts.
Got XFactor looking really clean right now, man. 5 alive in that game.
Well, then
shooting good lanes.
And boys, 5 points in a row.
Wow.
I mean, other than that first hiccup, it's been all San Antonio XFactor, and the points really haven't even been that close. It's been San Antonio XFactor on the attack, XFactor shooting bodies off the break, just overall looking much better than Heat right now.
Yeah, XFactor just continuing to shoot the snake side early. And, you know, you lose one body off the snake side. They got one early kill off that Dorito side by sending Colt Roberts up to the A on a well-timed play to catch a Houston Heat player. I think it was Sewers running up to that Dorito 1 on the break. And, you know, just open the game right up. Another quick death off the snake side. And then Houston Heat just keeps ending up with 2 bodies trying to fight 4 or 5 XFactor players at a time. And it's just, you know, XFactor just continuing to roll the guns, put the pressure on them, not letting those players move. And, you know, as we were talking about earlier, it's really hard to defend on this field. You know, you got to defend by attacking more, but it's really hard to attack 2 bodies into 4 bodies, 5 bodies. You know, it's just, you just don't have enough firepower. So
especially against a team like that.
Yeah, and this is a hard field to be like, okay, let's just, you know, slow it down a point and try and live. You know, that just does not work on this field.
So here are your event fantasy score leaders. Fedorov in first. He had a great day yesterday. Archie Montemayor, Justin Ravikoff, Scotty Kemp, and Mishka Geznev. So hopefully you have those guys. And look at those kill counts. The G rating is above 1 for Fedorov, above 1 for Archie. That means an average of 1 kill per point played. Same with Justin. And yeah, it's or a little bit less than 1 for Justin. But still, those 5 guys killing it at this tournament.
Split screen breakout. Heat on your left, XFactor on your right. 5-1 in favor of XFactor. It's all XFactor this game. And also losing somebody in the break. There goes one from Houston Heat, Matty.
Yeah, Houston Heat continuing to struggle off the break, and that's really kind of been the story of these points, is that XFactor is capitalizing on the situation that they create for themselves. They shoot bodies off the break, and then they aggressively push forward.
Another one going down for Houston Heat.
Oh, but XFactor losing a body over there. It looks like that's Scott Kemp or Colt Roberts. Roberts.
That was a big bite, though, man. He's trying to go all the way to the 50 from the corner.
Yeah, Colt Roberts took a big bite over here on the D side of the field. Now you're looking in the snake. Michael Kovar trying to gunfight with Chad George, and Chad George is trying to back up Ryan. Is that Ryan Moorhead in the snake?
Yep.
Yeah. So Ryan Moorhead in the snake for Houston Heat on your screen right now, number 85. Kovar comes up a notch. Snake battle is developing. Head checking battle right now. Kovar gets head checked and put back in. Moorhead owns the line. Moorhead shooting burst to try to keep Kovar honest. Kovar also has a back player right behind him too.
Oh, but Tim Montresor getting shot off that big Dorito on the snake side. So only 2 bodies left alive again for Houston Heat.
It's going to make Ryan Moorhead's life a little bit hard here. And I was going to say, look for the highway run. Here comes
Good
Kovar.
call, Matty. Great call right there.
Well, it just set up perfect. You know, I mean, as soon as if you're at snake 2 and you lose your back guy and there's only one other guy left and he's all the way on the other side of the field, that's going to happen. You're going to see that highway run. The highway is the inside part of the snake. Here comes Dixon Yang and Grayson Goff. Derek Jordan to finish off that point. So Colt Roberts, Grayson Goff, Michael Kovar, Derek Jordan, Dixon Yang doing a solid job. Again, 6 unanswered points in a row, boys.
Again, with 3-4 players alive, just making, you know, little work, unfortunately, for Houston Heat.
I thought this was gonna be a close game. Both these teams are hungry. Both these teams were 1-1 heading in, and it's the XFactor is just
world
really
champion team, looking like it right now.
Yeah, really picked it up this morning. So, I mean, if they end up beating Heat 7-1, that instantly catapults XFactor to be one of the favorites. I mean, they were obviously one of the favorites heading in because they are the defending world champs. The only difference in their lineup between this World Cup and a year ago is the addition of Michael Kovar, who actually has been on the team forever, but he did go play 1 year with Moscow Red Legion last season. But he's been back on the team this year, so the only change from the World Championship caliber roster.
Yeah, you know, XFactor, you know, their later game today is going to be a test against Art Chaos. Coming up next after this game, we have the Ironmen taking on Legion. Legion 0-2 on the day, and we have the Ironmen at 1-1.
Legion is -11.
-11.
That, I mean, and when it comes to the points differential, -11, that's a lot, man. That means you got pretty much whooped up twice, especially when you're 0-2.
The Ironmen end up beating Legion, going 2-1. XFactor, they can hold on here, beat Heat, they'll be 2-1. This bracket's going to get really interesting.
You know, and Legion coming in 0-2, -11. It's kind of hard to recover from that, Matty.
Well, you know, Legion had a great event at the West Coast Open, and they had been getting better from, you know, pretty much the opening of the year. Every event they got better when you look at their standings, but had a really bad day yesterday.
That's, yeah. And on your screen right now, XFactor going to work against Houston Heat, up 6-1. Not looking good for Houston Heat right now, Todd.
XFactor, though, gets 3 bodies out to that Dorito side, looking to make a push over there. Houston Heat finally gets 3 bodies alive out to the snake side, and trying not to force anything, but still needing to make a move to get into the snake over here. They do have the body advantage. XFactor pressing really hard over there, gun battling hard down that Dorito side. You see Colt Roberts, and there goes the first body up into that Dorito 1 for Houston Heat. There's his players. That's John Woodley on your screen right there. Far out on that Dorito side for Heat, you got Dizon and Sewers. And there goes Dizon coming off for Houston Heat. And Billy Bernaccia able to get to the snake, because 2 of the bodies on the snake side have now turned towards the Dorito side for XFactor. Houston Heat can't forget about their snake presence over here. There goes Thomas Taylor, able to jump up and finally get in the snake. He's got Billy Bernaccia right in front of him, 1 knuckle up. See if he's gonna be able to do anything about it. Woodley and Moorhead finally turning their guns back over towards the Snake side. Just Sewers over there on the Dorito side for Houston Heat as Montemayor jumps into the 50 Dorito and his teammates start coming behind him. Colt Roberts jumps into the Dorito 1.
Oh, but look at this, though. Heat loses a body over here on the Snake side. You just saw him walk off on your screen. And this Snake battle is getting pretty heated right now between Thomas Taylor and Billy Bernaccia. Billy Bernaccia asking for the referee to come in and check out his side. And he got shot cross field, it looks like, in one of those engagements with Thomas Taylor. So Thomas Taylor now owns the Snake, no one in here except for him. He does not have a back player, though, and he's looking at one body in the back bunker. It's Niños. So Meter, Niños, back bunker, only one keeping Thomas Taylor from moving up. Colt Roberts in that center 50. There's Niños on your screen right now, head checking down that sideline. He's trying to then go low, get a little crafty.
Woodley trying to get a shot in on Archie wherever he can. Colt Roberts came out of that Dorito up into the center of the field. He's in the A right now, and Thomas Taylor tries to pop up over the top and gets shot from across the field. So just Woodley and Sewers again for Houston Heat.
Yeah, they've been the last guy left alive, and yeah, it's going to be tough because here they come on the attack, trying to finish it out. Colt Roberts going to try to come and stab John Woodley.
Oh, John Woodley, there's a penalty for sure.
Here
comes a major penalty.
Yeah, I don't know what Woodley was doing.
There's birds of prey fly today.
Yeah, I mean, I understand, like, hey, it's the last point and the penalty doesn't carry over, so Woodley's in there just wheeling and dealing. And I don't think he actually knew he got shot on the hopper, but when somebody comes around, I mean, yeah, Chris is giving me the look. Well, I'm just wondering, he gets his loader peeled off by Colt, but when somebody comes right around on you and paint sprays everywhere and it's that close, like, how do you not feel that? I mean, it's from inches away, but he came right back out and kept battling. And then when the penalty got called, he actually looked at his hopper and kind of shook his head like, "Oh, really?" I'm like, "Come on, LJ, how did you know?"
I love the kid, and I love his tenacity, but you know.
Well, he didn't want to lose. That was, I mean, it was pretty much. Todd Woodley was like the last guy left alive almost every single point.
Let's listen to the pit right now, guys. Look calm, collective, Maddie.
Make sure he knows. Peter. I hear you.
Yeah, well, they should be happy because, I mean, they just scored 7 unanswered points in a row. The only hiccup that XFactor had at all was the very, very first point of the match that went to Houston Heat. But other than that, they played a pretty flawless game, constantly on the attack on both sides of the field and in the center. Their front guys played great, their first attackers. Pretty much everyone across the board on XFactor combined for kills. Archie Montemayor, again, kill count leader, followed by Colt Roberts with 5. Colt Roberts had 5, Archie with 9. So Heat really struggling, Todd, in this matchup. And like I was saying before, poor Woodley was the last player left alive, it seemed like, every single point.
Yeah, Woodley and Sewers, I mean, I think 3 or 4 different points ended up, as the only guys. And, it's just tough when, your front guys are out there, getting shot on the break or trying to make those quick bumps. I mean, it's that type of field, but XFactor just beat him to the punch, point after point, 7 points in a row. And, really took it to Houston Heat here, first game of the morning, knowing that this was a must-win situation. Houston Heat now 1-2, XFactor 2-1, and XFactor definitely did not want to go into that Art Chaos game 1-2 in a must-win situation, but now Houston Heat going to be facing the Ironmen later,
who are playing really good right now.
Who are playing really well. The Ironmen right now about to take on Legion. If Houston Heat's going to have a chance, they're going to need Legion to beat the Ironmen, and then they're going to have to come back and beat the Ironmen later.
Yeah.
So, things not looking good for Houston Heat right now, but everything is possible here because you never know what's going to happen. It is World Cup. And everything happens one game at a time.
Yeah, so as the day progresses, we'll keep breaking it down for you guys as to who looks good as far as the point spread and the actual record for their 4 games in the prelims. But let's check in with Lauren Kelly with the victors.
All right, I am here with Colt Roberts. Congratulations, you guys just won that one 7-1 against Heat. It was a pretty big blowout. Now, I want to talk to you about that last point when you were running down the field. Can you kind of talk to us about the X play that you were running, what bunkers you're looking to shoot out, and what the best strategy is on this field layout with that X?
Yeah, there's a couple different plays. I either try and go up to the right side of the X and shoot the Dorito side, so I'm running up there shooting Dorito way, hopefully getting that kill. On the other X play I run up to the can on the Dorito side and try and shoot real quick cross. On the Snake side, they can't really check you off, and they usually run into your guns. Basically on that last play, what happened was they had a corner and what we call the Alamo, which is a big Dorito. So I blinded myself out from the corner, went up, wrapped around, stuck the Dorito guy, came back. Well, he ended up coming out and shooting me anyway and getting the major, so it closed the game out.
I think most people were expecting it to be more of a back and forth battle, and you guys took that huge point spread early on. What did you see Heat doing that allowed you to get the advantage every single point?
I don't think it was so much what Heat was doing. We came out and played our game. You know, yesterday we kind of blew up in the pits and lost composure, and obviously you saw in the Ironman game we gave tons of points away and just made a lot of mental mistakes. So we came out today and reiterated our mantra, you know, 1 point at a time, and that's what we're doing. It doesn't matter what the last point was, it's the only one that we have going in front of us.
Like you said yesterday, you guys did get that first one and then you lost to Ironman. We've seen a little bit of inconsistencies here and there with XFactor. What are some of the issues you have that cause those inconsistencies when they happen?
We're a super emotional team, so that's why you see us either blow somebody off the field or sometimes get blown off the field. We play with a lot of heart, and sometimes that works against us.
All right, well, keep playing with that heart. Congratulations. XFactor just beat Heat in the first match of day 2. Stay tuned. We got more coming up.
Tom Martinez will come with you.